Hi guys, Team Juju here. I'm just here to start my vlogation about the show Insecure on HBO starring Issa Rae. I really like the show so far, so I'm going to try to condense this video because it's going to be a brief summary of episode 1 and summary of episode 2, and by third episode I should have everything together as far as the characters, their real name, their show name, what the plot's about, just be in more detail. This is going to be kind of rough just to introduce you guys to what I'm about to do going forward. Okay? Don't mind if you hear any slurs. I've been sipping on that red blend, Little Black Dress. Yes, it's called Little Black Dress. Anyway. Okay, so the first episode basically introduces us to Issa Rae, her character, and a little bit about her best friend also. Issa Rae basically plays, it's like the show kind of combines stereotypical things about black girls and also about realistic things about black girls, like stereotypes as far as, like right now her job, she works with, it seems like she's like a project manager for a community-based company where they go out to different schools and think of different projects to get the kids more, acclimated with, I guess, new ideas, new things that they want the kids to do after school. But she has the baggage of the fact that she's the only black girl at her job. So it's like they kind of hired her on purpose just so she can have that representation of black people and black kids. So they assume that she will know and have all these ideas of what the kids can do in school, and as far as having new recreational ideas for them to do after school or introduce them to new things. But I think it kind of shows how Issa's character is she's just over it. There's a lot of things she's just over. She feels like she hasn't been herself. She kind of just been going with emotions. We also get introduced to Lawrence. Don't tell me why I remember Lawrence's name, but I don't remember anyone else. Only because I remember Lawrence from, was he on We Got Game? I mean, The Game on BET? Yeah, I think he played Tamara's boyfriend at one point. Was it that? I'll correct myself by the next episode. This wine got me like, whoo. Anyway, yeah. So her boyfriend had been together 5 years, but they kind of hit a slump where she felt like they're not progressing, kind of been doing the same thing. Supposedly he was trying to start a business and it hasn't been panning out the way he wants it, so it's kind of been sitting on a couch just doing nothing. Like, she literally comes home, he's on a couch watching television. So she kind of was over it. So bad enough she's going through her own little, they didn't use the word midlife crisis, but I look at it as a midlife crisis when you kind of feel stuck. Your job makes you stuck, your relationship makes you stuck. Like, everything that you could normally do as far as the real you, being adventurous and being just more open, more outgoing or whatever, you're not doing it because you're just settling yourself in these experiences that you're experiencing. We do see other outgoing parts of Issa's character. Like, she likes to rap. They have little moments in the bathroom when she's kind of like talking to herself in the mirror, which I think we all do. I know I do. Kind of like a prep you when you're like going to do something or whatever. Like, okay, so when she realized how stuck she was in a relationship with Lawrence, I'm still talking about the first episode. She was like, you know what, I think we should just separate and just break up with her. Mind you, they actually live together. So who knows where Lawrence would go if they actually broke up. But she kind of technically told him we broke up. But she kind of rushed into it because she left out the house while she was breaking up with him. So he's chasing her like, what are you saying we should break up or whatever? So she didn't really want to go into detail into the argument. So she kind of walked out. After that, we get introduced to her best friend's character, who, again, by the second episode, I will get names and everything for you guys. Her best friend's kind of the opposite as far as she's actually single, has a relationship for a long, long time, but she has a very successful job. I'm not too sure what she does. I mean, I know she has an assistant. She has her own office. She's very up there, with the fancy suit and just a very high profile job. But she's very single and she wants to be in a relationship. And she gets hit because her assistant gets engaged. So like throughout the office, that's all the talk is about the engagement. Everyone's looking at the assistant's ring and stuff like that. And she's just like, where's my guy? When's my turn? she's so good at her job, but she has no man. And it gives a good representation of a lot of black girls out here now, where like we either, yeah, we have the relationship and the job, but we're not happy because we're not doing things for ourselves. We're just doing things that maybe life stereotypically has to give us, which we do have to work to pay our bills. And yeah, it is good to be in love, but like, what about the real passionate love, the real adventurous love? When you get in a relationship which has been like 3-4 years, 5 years, you're not even engaged, you're not really doing anything together, you're not building a foundation, you're not having fun anymore, you're just settling because you guys live together. And that's probably why people say you should take certain steps at a certain point. Like, I know there's always been a kind of discrepancy or argument about who should be married. I mean, when you get married, you should live together after you're married. And some people in a long-term relationship, they decide to move together before they get married. And maybe because people take different steps backwards, it kind of shows how things are going to go after. Okay, so Issa's character and the best friend, get together, they go for lunch or whatever, kind of catch up with each other. The best friend's complaining about guys, and she also tells her, I don't know what to do or whatever. And then Issa also tells her how she kind of sort of broke up with her boyfriend, but they didn't really go into detail and talk about it. So now at the same time, there's an old friend, I think he's an old high school buddy, that started hitting her up. Like, since the episode opens up, he's been like texting her little things like, oh, happy birthday. Oh yeah, it is her birthday also. How are you? Yeah, that's another big major part. It was her birthday. Kind of saying, hey, what's up or whatever. Then he kind of invites her to this open mic at this club. Now, mind you, like I told you guys, Issa has like an outgoing personality, and she's kind of low-key an artist, kind of low-key a rapper, and she raps in her own time. And I think that was a little bit her dream maybe growing up, but she never really pursued it. So she kind of took a step back from it. But now getting these texts from this old high school friend, kind of brings her back to that point. I think they used to rhyme together. Yeah, I think they used to rhyme together. So that gave her more confidence. Plus this whole newfound kind of breaking up, kind of not broken up relationship. So I think she kind of wanted to talk to him also. So anyway, at the dinner of the best friend and Issa, again, I guess, like I said, they was catching up with each other, and she was telling her she broke up with her and whatever. She said, we should just go out, do something different or whatever. There's this club. She didn't really directly tell her that the guy invited her to the club. She just said, oh, let's just go out and, have fun or whatever. Let's do something different, whatever. Okay. They go to the club, and the best friend actually starts mingling with a guy. He was kind of cute. And, they were talking, they were getting along great. Issa ended up running into the high school friend that was texting her earlier that day. And when the hostess came on the mic, after all the other artists, open mic artists came on, he's like, oh, it's open mic or whatever. Anyone else want to come up, whatever. So basically the friend starts saying, oh, didn't you used to rap or whatever? You should go up there. You should go up there. I dare you. So typical of most shows and most movies that when you get a dare, you're supposed to go for it. So now, what I didn't put in, but rewind a little bit. At the dinner, they both, the best friend and Issa, were giving each other advice. Like Issa was telling her, oh, if you're really broken up with Lawrence, then you need to really talk about it. Otherwise, I don't think you guys should break up. You should just talk about it. You guys have been together 5 years. Everyone loves you guys together. Your family knows him. His family knows you, whatever. What is everybody going to think or whatever. So, and in return, Issa was telling her, well, I don't know, maybe she made a joke like, oh, maybe your pussy's broken or whatever. So they all started laughing about it. So yeah, maybe you got a broken pussy or whatever. So they joked about it. Okay, now fast forward back to the open mic. After the high school friend dared her, now mind you, she's in this state of, kind of stuck, been doing the same thing, and there's this energy inside that's been trying to come out. She releases it. She goes up on stage, and mind you, the best friend is mingled somewhere else talking to this other guy. They're having a great conversation, they're having a good time. So Issa goes up there, they turn the music down, and she starts going in. She's just rapping. She was like, broken pussy, a broken pussy, like just like rhyming off the top of the dome, like old school freestylers you don't really see anymore. And people started going into it, and the beat started going in the background, and she's just rapping a broken pussy or whatever. Now the best friend, they zoom into the best friend who looks at the guy. She's like, and the guy was like, "Oh, is not your friend up there? You know, she's kind of good." And she goes, "Yeah, she's talking about me." So the guy, he's like, "Oh, okay," and he basically walks away and leaves her there. And their best friend is super uber upset. So after that, they end up. The best friend gets upset. I think she left her, and Issa ends up giving the. I don't know if she was giving the high school friend a ride or if they just happened to, go in the same car together, but they ended up at the house, whatever. So they start talking or whatever, and they start kissing. And he wanted to go upstairs with her. Then her mind starts racing, and she's like, "Oh my God, I literally just broke up with Florence like this morning." And mind you, he's still in the house because they live together. So she's like, "You know what? I don't even know what I'm doing. I just came out of a long-term relationship. I don't know if I should be jumping into a relationship." He's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa. Relationship?" Basically trying to say he was just trying to smash. And which in real life, a lot of these guys, that's all they want to do is smash. Especially if you guys have some type of connection or whatever. You had like a half a date. It wasn't really a date because they met up and it was a party or whatever. There wasn't really a date. He didn't pay for anything, so it wasn't a date. And so she was looking at him like, what, or whatever. And it does show too in real life how women can feel the guy misleads them, but there's lots of things that guys don't even say, but we just put it in our own minds that the situation is going a certain way, and it's not at all what the guy is thinking. And he really didn't give, he was texting her or whatever, but he really didn't say like, "Oh, I'm feeling you," or "I want to pursue something," or anything. He just, said, "Oh, this was happening here. Let's link up," whatever. So he kind of really did put it out there that, he just wanted to smash. But she didn't see that because she's a relationship girl. And, I can relate to that. Relationship girls, we want a relationship or whatever. We don't just want to smash. And that's how it went. So, anyway, but she felt embarrassed, obviously. He later got out the car. I believe it ended there. Yeah, okay. So, next episode. Actually, no, it didn't end there. She ended up, I think she called... I think it didn't. No, it didn't end there because she ended up calling the best friend and they were arguing over the phone. And she was saying, "Oh, how can you talk about me up there?" And she's like, "No, it just came to me. I wasn't talking." Oh, you know what? No, I'm sorry. Before linking up with the guy, okay, her and the best friend were in the car. She was bringing her best friend home. So the best friend started going on for her, like, "Oh, you were talking about me up there. How could you do that? How could you use my situation up there, whatever?" And she was like, "I was not talking about you or whatever. I was not even thinking about that. He was daring me." And she was like, "Who was daring you?" So the whole time, she still didn't even know that the high school friend is the one that invited them to the actual party. She thought the friend, Issa was just, winging it, just wanted to go to the spot. But the whole time, it was an inventee situation. So she was like, "Oh, that's why you really wanted to go there. So you went up and abused my situation or whatever." And she was like, "Oh, that's not what I was doing. I just felt so revived, so re-energized, renewed or whatever. He just dared me and I just did it. I'm just so proud of myself." So yeah, you proud of yourself by using my situation to benefit you or whatever. So she was mad, she pissed off, and she walked out the car. Okay, fast forward. Now, after the guy played her, or she kind of played herself because she assumed he was trying to start a relationship, which is not what he wanted to do. She called, actually no, she just went straight to her house because she didn't want to go home technically because she didn't want to deal with Lawrence and having this whole breakup situation. So she went home with Cheetos and wine or whatever, and then it ended there. Okay, second episode. Basically now we have Issa's characters been staying nights at the best friend's house because she doesn't want to go home. She doesn't want to confront Lawrence. Then we show Lawrence, calling her, texting her, trying to find out when she's coming home, when they're going to talk or whatever. And the whole time, like men in real life, he wasn't fully thinking about the whole situation, the bigger picture. He really just thought the whole argument was just over her birthday. So, they show him kind of stressed out or whatever, going through applications, going back to his business plan. Then they show him going to the, I guess it was a dollar store, whatever store, and he was like buying like a birthday card and birthday balloons or whatever. Little rewind before that. Actually, no, little rewind before that. he ran into his neighbor who he had like a little joke, he was like a crypt or whatever, or blood, whatever, and talking in like blood and crypt language, whatever, but basically trying to give him advice, like, you know, if that's what you want, they're gonna get it. If you feel like she can change your life, you know, yeah, you got stuck in a road or whatever, you just, it's your you know, position to step up and make things change. If you got a little stuck in the road, that's life. You know, sometimes you have your ups and you have your downs, but you got to keep on getting up. You can't just live in a situation and wallow. You know, he said it in so many words. So, you know, he took his advice or whatever. Again, he's been texting and calling her, and she hasn't been answering him. So while in the place getting the birthday gifts and stuff, he actually runs into Issa. That town must be really small that they end up seeing each other. I'll get the town for you guys at the next episode. So he's like, yo, I've been calling you or texting you, whatever. And she's like, you know, what's going on? Like, I'm sorry about your birthday. She was like, oh, it's not just about my birthday. And it's not. It's a bigger picture. They've been together 5 years, and she doesn't see where they're going anymore. They're not doing anything. Like, they're not doing things together and not doing things individually. I mean, she has a job, but she's not so happy with the job. One thing about the job, she actually she was actually given a project. Now, mind you, she's just kind of the token black girl at her job. She doesn't really step up for anything, but during the first episode, there was a project of a new school, I guess, that they had a new contract or whatever, and they had to think of ideas for, you know, recreational things for the kids to do. Now, normally, I believe she has a partner, but I don't know if the girl is her assistant or they just work together on certain projects. And usually the partner, who's a white girl, always has the ideas and the plans and makes things up, and gives it to the boss. So Issa actually steps up and says, you know, I want to think of something. I want to think of a plan or whatever. Now, mind you, I think secretly the boss always wanted Issa to do that because, again, she's a talking black girl and she's the only black girl at the job. And it seems like most of their contracts or accounts are with, you know, predominantly black kids schools. Okay. So basically the second episode was about her preparing and giving them, you know, a blueprint idea of what ideas she had or suggestions they have as far as what they could do for the community. So, and again, Issa has not been home, so she doesn't have any clothes. She asked her best friends, oh, can I use your clothes? Her friend's like, stay as long as you need. But I think deep down, she really didn't want her to stay because it's her apartment, her space. You know, she's already going through her own thing. She already feels like, you know, Issa's there for her as a friend, but she also feels like Issa is kind of using her in a sense where, like, when things are going bad in her life, she feels better when she talks about the best friend's life. Because, again, even though the best friend's job is better than Issa's job, the best friend isn't in a relationship. So she feels like, and then the best friend's always downing that issue. Like, she just always gets so depressed when she talks about it. She even says she joined up for different online sites and online apps. Like, it's so funny how they talk. Like, the show is very, very present minded. Like, she brought up Tinder. She talked about Tinder. She talked about some other apps or whatever, how she's been trying to get out there more and meet different people, whatever, but it's just been like dead end, or they're just looking for booty, or they're not as successful as she is, whatever, but she's really trying to get out there or whatever. So at one point, I think she introduced the apps to Issa or whatever, and Issa was getting kind of intrigued, but then when she looked at it, she was like, oh, no, forget it, whatever. So anyway, she ended up borrowing an outfit from the best friend so she can go to her presentation. So before the presentation, you know, she linked up with the partner or / assistant, and assistant's already had ideas because normally that's what she does. So she's like, oh, why don't we, you know, why don't we focus on sports or whatever, like lacrosse or whatever. And again, because Issa's a token black girl, and it's kind of a little bit racial, where she feel like when they do make suggestions, it'd be like predominantly white things that black kids would do, or they would throw in a black activity, but then it's kind of like she feels like they're doing it on purpose. So, and again, because Issa's now in this new character where she doesn't want to be, settled, where she feels settled at the job and settled relationship. She wants to try to venture out, be a different character, different person. So she's like, you know what, I'm not even gonna, she basically says, oh, her suggestions are great, but, she has her own idea. Now, mind you, she doesn't even have her idea. She was literally gonna go in there and wing it. She didn't plan anything out the whole weekend, because the whole weekend she was at the club, then she's trying to avoid the boyfriend, and she was dealing with her best friend, which is really all regular life stuff that shouldn't be as important as your job. The job is more important. That's what's paying the bills. And the project was important because it was her first time actually stepping up to take lead in the project. So she should have put more focus on that, but she didn't. So she's like, I'm just going to wing it. And her little nice suit. Everybody was like, what? Because she normally wears really, tomboyish clothes. Just look at. And it's just very pretty. She's like a natural pretty. She has this afro hair and it's nice, like, just this really, I don't want to say Godiva, but it's just like she has chocolate skin, but it's like a glowy chocolate skin, like really natural, like next door girl that you could probably hang with all the time, but good representation or whatever. Supposedly her background is she used to have this YouTube channel called Awkward Black Girl. I never watched it before. The only reason why I'm watching Insecure now because I've seen commercials about it and I really liked it and I really enjoyed the first 2 episodes, so I'm definitely going to consistently watch it. So, I'm sorry because I'm talking too fast. Hopefully I'm not talking too fast and you guys can understand me. I still feel like I'm talking clearly, so you should be able to get it. Leave comments at the bottom. And again, I have been a little sipping and I'm still sipping, so yeah, got my little hacks that I cover my hair. Getting off topic. Anyway, so presentation happens and she kind of bombs it because she's like, the suggestions she was giving were very vague, like, oh, why don't we take them to museums? I want them to get more into art. So like, okay, well, what kind of art or whatever? She was like, just arts around the neighborhood. Like, she really wasn't, they can tell she was very unprepared, and they were kind of playing her because now the boardroom they were throwing is just like, oh, maybe we should do a hip-hop art, and maybe we should take them to a hip-hop museum, or like, yeah, maybe like basically all black casting stuff. So, and it's messed up when you're in a boardroom or any type of situation where you're supposed to take charge, and because you're not following through, then everyone else took charge, and you're like, it's like you did nothing. But then again, mind you, she was winging it. She didn't really plan to have anything written down. Even her assistant gave her suggestions that she didn't want. So, but she tried to save the situation by, bringing in the assistant's ideas again, but it was already too late. So after the meeting, the boss was like, you know what, do you really want this job? I picked you because I thought I saw this fire in you where you really wanted to help your people, help your community or whatever, but I don't see it anymore. If you really feel this is not a fit for you. And I think she's been at that job for a long time. But again, she'd been at that job under the radar. She wasn't really doing anything. And now she decided to step up to do something. She's doing it half-ass, And she kept using it because she was all busy during the week, but whatever. We know what she was doing. So she said, no, I do want this job. I will do better, whatever. Okay. Next scene, let me see. Yeah, at the best friend's job, they're still like, ranting and raving on the assistant about the ring and whatever. They were asking her plans, and she's like, no, we haven't even planned anything yet or whatever. So, the best friend's like over it. And she actually had a date with someone else that she found on the app, and it seemed like it was starting off well. They were eating, he was ordering a fancy wine or whatever, and he was trying to say, he just can't get any black girls on his side, and every black girl date that he's had has never been successful or whatever. So she took it as, okay, what, you just like white girls? He was like, no, it's just then I don't know what about me, I just can't get it with the black girl. She's like, oh, whatever, yeah, whatever. So by the time they walked out, it was going well or whatever. All of a sudden, while they were hugging, he was like, all right, so we about to get it on tonight. Oh, my gosh. She was like, what or whatever? What are you talking about? Da, 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 da. And he said, what? He said, what? He said, what? Because you bought a fancy wine, a fancy drink, but just get it like that? He said, what? So now, ding, 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 we realize why you don't get along with the black girls. You just assume you're going to smash because you bought a fancy wine. Get the fuck out of here. Which in real life, a lot of these dudes do. Like, they really don't this generation puts in no work. Like, they do one date. If it's even a full romantic date, like, the guys always have to compromise something. Either they don't want to pick you up, they want you to meet there, if they do pay for it, it's probably a certain amount, or if they do pay the full amount, they expect something at the end of the night, which is, like, ridiculous. Like, yeah, I'm sure a lot of these female generations are giving it up easy, but, like, geez, like, are we all just lazy? Are we all just forgetting about chivalry and stuff? So it's like, romance has really been dead, like dead. Anyway, so, and they actually showed her on another day where she was like, just walking around town and eating or something, and somebody was like, broken pussy, and she turned around. Why would you turn around at that? Like, why? Whatever. She turned around, and it ended up being dude from the first episode when they were at the club that left her in the first place after, Issa was up there rapping about broken pussy. But again, he is cute. They had a good vibe, so it's still good that he came back or whatever, and they started chatting. So hopefully we'll see a storyline kind of grow between them two. Let's see. What else? Oh, okay, job bombed. She ran into the boyfriend at the store. Yeah, so at this point, she was gonna ask the best friend again to stay another night, but then she decided to confront the boyfriend. Before she confronted the boyfriend, though, she was in a bathroom. I think it was at work. She was like rehearsing how it was gonna go, which a lot of us do. I know I do. Like when I'm gonna curse somebody out, whether it's a lover or a best friend or whatever, and I really want to be able to get it all out. And sometimes you deal with people that just don't let you talk. Like they just interject after every 2 words, or they're very aggressive when they argue. So someone like me who likes to think before they speak, unless I'm really pissed off, I will say everything that I need to say. Sometimes I don't, and sometimes I really want to get through a whole conversation and not have to deal with them again. Yeah, I try to prepare myself. I write things down, or I play how I think it's going to go, how the person's going to react, and what they're going to respond with, and what I should respond back, just to keep it going and kind of get the last word. And that's what she was doing in the bathroom. It was so funny, but it was so real, so realistic, like so relatable. So she was just going back and forth for what she would say to him, like, oh, what's up? And he's saying to her, like, what's up? What's wrong with you? Why we're fighting? And whatever. He's like, I love you. She's like, I love him. So basically, when she was looking in the mirror and going back and forth, it was like however the argument was going to start, it was going to end in I love you. And in real life, yeah, they always say love is all you need, but you need a foundation too. Like it seems like, okay, yeah, it might be easy to love someone, but to be in love and maintain that love, you need to grow. You need to do new things to keep it going. So finally, she decided to go home. When she went home, of course, he was on a couch. She said, "What's up?" He said, "What's up?" They just sat there looking at the TV. He tells her that he put an application into whatever job pertaining to the business plan he had, and he had an interview. She's like, "Oh, that's good, or whatever." And then it was a pause, and then I don't know if they both said so, or really it was nothing going on. They just stared at the TV, kind of like both wanting to say something, but didn't know where to start, and then the episode went off. So I hope I think I got everything. Yeah, I think I got everything in both parts. Anyway, this show's really good. It really relates to Black people. It really relates to any people, really, people in relationships or people who are good in one aspect in their lives but suck at the other one, and you're just trying to get both of them on the same page, the same level. So I think it's just a real relatable show. Things that are actually going on in your life instead of it being exaggerated like most sitcoms or most shows. And the fact that it's on HBO, you already know it's real because HBO only shows real things. Like, anyway, that's my review. Again, comment at the bottom, like, subscribe. I will continue to blog about this show because I love it. Oh, and I'm not getting paid, but if you're into red wine, this is a red blend. Company is called Little Black Dress. It's very delicious. Good night. Adios.